Hi, my name is Chris. I am 30 years old, and I guess I'm starting this Migraine Diary because I've evidently been going through them and have just recently came to terms with it, I guess. I never really had them before in the past, up until about 5 months ago when I actually first had my severe one. It actually landed me into the ER. I guess I've had headaches before, but they've been manageable with like ibuprofen or an aspirin or whatever. But that 5 months prior, when I ended up in the ER, it was pretty scary. I had just finished a day of work and I was on my way home. I just had a crazy onset of dizziness, lights, sound, smell, nausea. It was all at once, and I guess I just thought it was just a long day of work and I was super tired, because it actually was. I work 12-hour shifts, so I do get tired. I managed to make it home, and I didn't even down dress or anything. I fell right into bed with my shoes on and everything. I just figured if I just go right to sleep, it'll go away. I try to sleep that night. About a half hour after being in bed, I started getting excruciating pain in the back of my head, literally in the base of my skull, and it radiated until like somebody lit my head on fire. Basically, it was all the way to the top of my head, and I've never felt that before. It was extremely scary. I started to worry. I was thinking it was like maybe a brain tumor or an aneurysm or something, because it typically people say just rest your head and things will get better about a headache or whatever. Maybe you need rest. But that wasn't working for me. So I managed to get my wits together, and I got up and took an aspirin, and I don't know, I just figured maybe that would help a little bit, and the pain just didn't stop. It didn't stop at all for a while. So I was trying to focus on what I was going to do next, and I ended up just saying I need to go to the ER. I need to go to the doctor because something's wrong. Conveniently, the hospital's down the street, so I got my keys and I slowly stumbled into the ER down the street. They loaded me up with IVs. The doctor was asking me questions while I was there, and she's like, "Have you ever felt like this before? Where does it hurt the most?" And I explained everything to her, like I was feeling it, trying the best I can, because it was just really hard to even focus and concentrate on carrying a conversation with anybody else. They started me with fluids. She wanted to try out a migraine cocktail, and that consisted of some steroid, Benadryl, some anti-nausea medication, and almost instantly it worked. It worked like a minute or two in. I had no more pain. The fiery feeling of hell above my head was gone. But I was really tired, and I was laying there, and she checked back on me about a half hour after, and she's like, "We're going to run an MRI on you just to make sure everything's okay up there." And I said sure, because I want to know too, because this is the first time I've ever felt this much pain. So they ended up doing the MRI, and luckily everything came back okay. There was no anything abnormal at all in the scan, which was good. And then the typical blood work that they do in the ER, everything came back pretty good. So she basically gave me her own diagnosis and said it was most likely a migraine, and I had just had a severe one. And she started asking me questions about if I've had them before, and I just told her no. I was like, I've never been in that shape before. I've had headaches here and there, but I mean, they usually are only for like maybe a 15-minute, 20-minute time frame. So she sent me home with some prescription drugs for migraine medicine. The typical, whatever the aspirin and the caffeine, whatever those pills were. I forgot what they were. And I took a couple before I went to bed just in case. And then I woke up fine. I didn't feel tired. I didn't have any issues. Like none at all. I was able to go about my day. I was told to follow up with a PCP. Unfortunately for me, I don't really have one. I've never been to a real doctor for ever. I usually manage my own health at home. Homeopathic. I should have, and I didn't. Fast forward till today, which is leading me to record this. This past week on Monday, I was in severe agony at work. I had no warning signs, no dizziness. It just turned into excruciating pain. And again, it started in the back. There was no fiery feeling, but the pain just was radiating everywhere, and it just would not stop. I was maybe a couple hours into work, and I tried taking aspirin. It didn't really help that much. I can't even describe what the pain was like. It's like somebody ran over my head in a car with a tire. I don't even. There's no descriptive word to describe the amount of pain I was in. I was crying at my desk. My peers, my coworkers, they were sitting around me, and they saw how much pain I was in, and they felt so bad. I could see it. I almost felt ashamed for being in that condition, because I'm not that type of person in general. I managed to make it through my day. We have a really busy work environment, so leaving work was almost not really an option for me. And I'm not one to leave work anyways, because I'm stubborn as hell. I managed to make it through the day. I got home. I took one of those migraine pills, and it helped me a bit. It helped me able to go to sleep. I was able to go to sleep. Unfortunately, I woke up Tuesday with the pressure still in my head. There was no actual pain necessarily, but it was just, I can feel the tightness throughout my head and my neck, and it was really bad. But I went into work, and I took some aspirin, and for part of the day I was okay. I was able to tolerate the uncomfortable feeling of my head feeling like it was being squished. I was still in pain, and everybody saw it too, and they were just telling me, just go home. I'm like, I can't. It's just, we're too busy. I can't leave. I have things that I have to do. Again, me being stubborn. I made it through my day, and I got home, and I did the same dose of that migraine medicine, and I fell asleep. I was in and out of sleep that night, though. I may have gotten a total of maybe 4 hours of sleep. Wednesday, I thank the Lord, I only had a 4-hour shift, so I figured, I'm like, all right, I only have 4 hours. I can make it through the Wednesday. I got up, I got dressed. I was more alert and aware of what was going on. The pain was almost completely gone. The pressure was still there, but it wasn't as intense. I just had a little haziness to my thought process. I made it through my Wednesday, and that night I started to feel the pressure again, and it didn't subside. Thursday, my friend came over to stay the night, and he asked me, he's like, well, do you want me to take you back to the ER? Like, what should we do? I'm like, I'm fine. I think I could just tolerate it. I was like, I'll just dope up on some ibuprofen or whatever, and hopefully it'll go away. It took me a long time to actually get to bed. It was uncomfortable. I couldn't get into any position to sleep because I just felt like the pressure was on every side of my head, and I couldn't relax. I don't know how I managed to go to bed, but I did. So Friday came, and I finally just said, I have to go in because the pain was not leaving. It came back in like full force. I got scared again and worried, so I checked myself back into the ER, and this was probably about, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. I went through it the whole day, just debating if I want to go back in. I mean, hospital bills are astronomical, and that was one other thing that I was worried about. But I went in, and they basically took a look at me, and the doctor's like, all right, well, we'll load you up again. And they did the whole migraine cocktail, the steroid and all that. And it worked. The pressure worked. It went away. The pain was gone. And I sat there for about a half hour to an hour, and he goes, well, I don't necessarily think we need to give you another MRI because we already had one, and if these are the exact same symptoms, then there's just no need for it. And I told him, I was like, I understand. I was nervous because it came back over and over and over again, and it wasn't like a one-day deal like it was last time. So he told me to follow up with a PCP, and I literally took that to heart because I'd never been in this condition before. So Saturday, I literally slept almost the entire day. I didn't wake up at all because I guess I wasn't in any pain, so I didn't wake up. When I did wake up, I went online, looked for a couple of doctors within my health plan, and I found one, and I set up an appointment. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to see me till Thursday. These past few days, though, being, I guess, over the migraine, I kind of feel like it's still there. My neck is still tense as hell over this whole ordeal. Sunday, Monday, it's now Tuesday. I've been in like unbelievable depression because it's debilitating. I've had zero energy to do anything, no appetite. I don't even feel like my body is here. Like it's a scary feeling. I've never felt like that before. So I've been trying to do as much research as I can with whatever energy I can and what I can actually withstand by looking at the computer. And I guess this is the post-drone phase. It's nerve-wracking. Yesterday I woke up from a nap and I felt anxiety. My whole left side was tight. It actually ended up with me being back in the ER because I guess I was just overly worried because of how I was feeling, and I'm just thinking to myself like I'm sleeping too much, but even though everybody's telling me I need to rest, then I'm reading research on if you sleep too much it can cause a migraine, and I'm just worried that pain's gonna come back, and it's not something that I want to go through because I don't ever want to feel that pain again. So today I'm a little bit more alert today. I managed to get myself to work to give them the doctor's note that the ER doctor gave me yesterday. But that was just extremely tiring. Even talking through this whole video, like I'm lightheaded, and I'm trying to stay focused because my body, I want to be alert and active and everything, and I'm forcing myself to do that even though I probably shouldn't be. So I got up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a look at YouTube and I don't know, see if people did their own little migraine diaries and such. And I found this other lady. Her name's Kimberly. If you look up, she has a handful of videos. But I feel sincerely bad for you, hon. You've been going through this your whole life, and I've barely been able to realize that I was going through this 5 months ago, yet alone a whole week, this past week, dealing with it. And I'm still praying that that's all that it is just a migraine, because all the signs were there, and this whole post-drone phase I was fearful of, and even doing the reading and stuff on that's pretty on point. But I guess this whole video is just to give peace of mind to other people who I don't know, who may be scared of what they're going through. There's there's a stigma, I guess, for individuals who don't really understand. They probably typically think it's just a headache and, oh, get over it. It shouldn't be that bad or whatnot. But I've secluded myself from family, from my work, from just doing day-to-day things. I can't do them, and it's frustrating. It's unbelievably frustrating, because I'm not that type of person at all. So just want to say you guys are not alone. There's a whirlwind of symptoms that you can get, and I mean, some people are lucky enough to not get all of them or just have one, or unfortunately there's some that get every single one of them, and even worse, been dealing with it forever. So I guess I'll be following up again after Thursday when my actual physician appointment takes place, and we'll see how that goes. I hope tomorrow I wake up better than I did the past couple of days, better than I did today. The depression portion just really sucks, and I just hope I get over it. And I guess the next one I post will be Thursday, if not Friday. Thanks for watching.